Welcome to Tsama Nafshi. Gemora Bava Kama, Mem Dalet Amid Beis. Here we are. It's a quote from the Mishnah, gentlemen. Shosh Yotze Misakel. It's the Mishnah on Mem Dalet Amid Beis. So you did all of that? You did all the Gemora on the first Mishnah? Shor HaIsha, Shor HaYisomim?
I think so.
You want to go over it? Or you want to go back to?
I'd like to go back.
Okay. Shor Shu Yotze Lisakel. Okay. So, Roy, you want to read? Shor Shu Yotze Lisakel. It's the bottom Mishnah on the page.
Shor Shu Yotze Lisakel. Hikdishah Love. So an ox that is leaving the courthouse of his stone and it's only consecrated.
Right. What's the din in that case? Says the Mishnah. Eino Mukdash. His statement is ineffective.
Shechatu, so if he slaughtered it, Asara Hasa, meat is prohibited. Im Ad Shala Nitma Dino HaKodesh Ba'arav, but if before its verdict was reached, the owner consecrated it, Kodash, it's considered to be consecrated. Im Shechato, if you slaughtered it, Bashara Mata, the meat
Before the Gemara din. Okay, let's take a look. We don't have any Rashi, okay? Okay, so let's just review for a second. We have two basic dinim over here that the Mishnah says. Shor Shehu Yotze Lisakel. So the animal has been brought to the Bezdin. It's the Bezdin has already paskin, handed down the psak din that the animal is chayav skila for being for goring someone, the kavanah, and killing them. And now it's on its way to the Beis HaSkila to administer the skila. And then the owner declares it hektish. So the Mishnah says that declaration is ineffective. Eino Mukdash. Okay, that's the din. Why that is, we'll see. And furthermore, if the animal was shechted, instead of having the skila done, it was shechted, but it was after the Gemar din had already been handed down, that it should be niskal. We had this case. The Gemara discussed this before. Here the Mishnah says explicitly the din is that the basar is asur. Because after the Gemar din, the animals and this go it's asur b'hana. The meat is asur b'hana. So it doesn't matter that it's not niskal, even if it will be shechted with the best mashkiach, that the meat is asur, because that's the din of the animal after it's been paskin that it's a niskal. Okay, that's only if the animal. That's only if the declaration was made after the psak din has been handed down. But says the Mishnah, the second case, if before the Beis Din has handed down the verdict, even if all the evidence has already been brought, and the case has been made that the animal has done a goring and killed, doesn't make a difference. If the psak din has not yet been handed down, then the owner is makdish the animal. Mukdash. The declaration is effective and the animal is officially hektish. And now the Mishnah says if they're going to shek this animal, the basar is mutar. Basar is mutar because the psak din has not been handed down. Okay, that's the reisha of this Mishnah. Okay, let's take it over to Lou. In the second part of this Mishnah, please.
Misaro, the shomer, chinam, the shoel, the nosei sachar, the socher. He entrusted it to a unpaid guardian, a borrower, a paid guardian, or a renter.
Or a socher, somebody who rented the animal.
Right.
All of those, by the way, they have a duty of shmirah. Yeah. All of them are called the Daled Shomrim.
Right.
And they all have some level of obligation to guard the animal from doing. All of them certainly have an obligation to guard that the animal injures other people.
Nichnasu tachas habaylim takes the place of the owner. Muad.
And they'll be responsible for any damage that the animal does.
Right. Muad mishalem nezek. If the ox was a muad, then the shomer must pay the damages. Shalem completely.
Nezek shalem. He'll pay. If the damages were 100, so he pays 100. Damages are 1,000, he pays 1,000. That's the din of a shor muad. He pays nezek shalem.
Shalem.
The one who is responsible to guard it pays nezek shalem.
The tam mishalem chetzi nezek.
Right.
Or if the animal was a tam, then the shomer pays half of the damages.
Right. As per the general din of a shor tam, he's only liable to pay chetzi nezek. Like we said, because he doesn't. He's really not on notice that the animal is a dangerous animal and does damage. So he pays only chetzi nezek.
So why don't we say, like we said in the other case of the apitropis, if so, nobody will ever be a shomer chinam.
Well, all these people are getting benefit from the animal, from having the animal.
Shomer chinam is?
He's getting the most benefit. Shomer chinam means, shomer chinam, he doesn't get any benefit. Okay. The other three do, so there's no question why they should have to pay. They're getting benefit from the animal. Right. Usage of the animal, even if they have to pay for the usage, but they're getting usage of the animal. Certainly they should have to pay. Right. Shomer chinam, why should a shomer chinam have to pay? A shomer chinam is generally liable for negligence. So it's not a question of he's negligent. So somebody who's posheya, he has to pay for his pshia.
Okay, but we could have said the same thing for the apitropis. He was a guardian. He was responsible for watching the.
I don't know if the din by apitropis who's posheya that he's potter. I don't know about that. sure about that. I have to check the office.
Okay.
I have to check the office. I don't know if it's clear that even if he's posher, he's patur. Let's see. Yeah, this is the part I didn't do this part. Yeah, let's go on. It's important. It's something that needs to be investigated, and I don't have the wherewithal to do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the deals. Says the Gemora, Tan Rabbanan. So, Roy,
Rabbanim. Shor Shechameis. The person opposite killed the person. Ad Shela Nigma Dina. As long as its guilty verdict is not yet reached, the Quran, if the owner sold it, it is sold. It's a valid sale. Hakdashah, Mukdash. If he consecrated it, then it is consecrated. Shechatah, Besora,
Shechted it.
Mutar. If he shechted it, its meat is permitted for benefit. Hazira, Shomer, Levitt, Bava. And if a Shomer returned to its owner's domain,
After the animal already gored in the possession of the shomer.
Mukhsa, it's deemed returned.
I don't know who mukhzar, what does that mean? And therefore the shomer would be patur. He would not have to return it to, he wouldn't have to pay the bailing.
Wait, you wouldn't have to pay the pilot, or you wouldn't have to pay the for the victim? We're talking about Nezek here?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see Rashi over here right on the spot. Rashi says on these three cases, Machur, the sale is good. Who the ridya?
Ridya means good?
No, it means to plow with. In other words, what do we mean over here? We're talking about an animal that gored and killed someone. That's the heading for all these cases. In regard to a shor, shehebis, So Ad Shelo Nigmar Dinoi. Before the Bezdin hands down their verdict, this animal is a niskal, and then it's supposed to be given over to the base of skila to be executed. If the owner sells this animal to a buyer, so now the sale is a sale. What does it mean? The sale is a sale.
Mukul means sold.
It's sold, right? The sale is a sale. What's the nafkamina? What's the practical ramification of the fact that the sale is a sale? Explains Rashi. The buyer will now be able to plow with this animal. He'll be able to plow with the animal. How long will he be able to plow with the animal? I guess until the Bezdin hands down their verdict of that the animal's a niskal, and then it'll have to be taken to the base of skila and executed. But until that time, he bought the animal. And the animal right now is not chayiv skila, and it's been sold to a buyer. So the buyer can do with him, in other words, whatever he wants. Ridya, plowing is just an example, because that's generally what you do with the ox. You can do whatever you want with it. The next din is what happens if the owner, before the Bezdin hands down their verdict, he makdishes the animal. Says the Brisa Mukdash. This din we already learned in the Mishnah. And it's repeated here in the Brisa. Says Rashi, Hekdishu Mukdash. If he's makdish the animal, it's an effective hektish, and the animal is now belongs to hektish. So what's going to be now? Says Rashi, v'nafkamine de'i is hani mine ma. Nafkamina is that if somebody would would go and plow with this animal, well, can you plow with an animal that's hektish? No. So that's an isser, and now he's going to be chayav for making profane use of a consecrated animal.
So this is a different word for plowing? It's not ridya, it's mishani?
Mishani is if he has hana from the animal. If he derives any benefit from the animal, that now becomes a isser of mi'ila. He has made forbidden mundane use of a consecrated animal. Okay. And the third case is if someone shechted it, doesn't matter who. This is before the animal has been declared to be a niskal, basara mutar. Its meat is permissible. Meat is permissible. You can eat the meat. Okay, so that covers those cases. Now, if it was given over into the hands of a shomer, the hexziru shomer, the beis balav, if the shomer before the animal, in other words, the animal went out and gored and killed while he was under the guardianship of this shomer. Now, if the shomer knows this brisa here in Bava Kama, so before the Bezdin hands down their verdict on the animal, if he hurries up and returns the animal to the original owner, so the brisa says muchzar, it's going to be considered a returning the animal. What does that mean? It's going to be considered a returning the other animal.
It's like the shomer never was a shomer.
Says Rashi. V'yafagav. You want to read the Rashi, Lou?
Bava, and even though
Shakle.
Tishakle lay, what's Tishakle?
They take it.
They take it.
Yeah.
B, Dina, it is the law.
Shakle Beidin.
Have,
Even though the Bezdin takes it.
Shomer Patur, that the Shomer is exempt. Daha Kish Has Ziru, that he returned it. Shore, the shore. Ma'ale who?
Yes. Oh boy.
Ma'ale, what's Ma'ale?
Shor Maliahu. It is a fine and fit and worthy and valuable animal.
But if someone knows that it's liable to be having a death sentence passed on eventually, can't be 100% valuable as it would have been if it wasn't under a death sentence, under potential death sentence.
Has that sentence been passed down at this point when he returns it to the door of the owner?
No, but if you know it's going to happen, I mean, if you know that your car is going to be repossessed, it's not going to. You're not going to buy a car that you know is going to be repossessed.
You don't know what the Bezdin's going to do.
But if it's all right, it's possible even that the ox is going to be put into a death
And he's
sentence.
going to have a good attorney, and the attorney's going to get him off.
Okay.
We don't know what's going to happen. Akagav the Shakli Le Beidin. In other words, even though the Bezdin takes the animal, after it has been returned to the owner, that doesn't matter. In other words, even though the animal, in other words, that's the only case where there's an nafkamina. That's the only case where there's an nafkamina, where the Bezdin does take the animal and take him out to the base of skila, because they have paskined eventually that he is a niskal. The question is, would the shomer be liable for that? The shomer's negligence was responsible for the animal getting out and doing goring, right? If you know that the animal is a muad, or you actually don't know the animal is a muad.
Right. That was going to be my next question.
Okay, so this
If it's going to be, if it's liable to be sentenced to death, then it is a murder, isn't it? It wasn't
No.
because a tam. Oh no, we don't know if he did it
even a
deliberately.
tam, even if a tam gores and kills, he's chayv skila, as long as he does it b'kavanah.
Yeah. So we don't even know if that's happened here. We assume it's been done with covenant, do we, or not?
It has to be done with kavanah. No one holds that even if the animal killed shelo b'kavanah that he's chayv skila. There's no machlokas on that point.
And actually, how do we know that this animal is chayv skila?
He's not yet.
It says if he's a muad, he pays full. If he's a tam, he pays half. But if that's nazikin. That's not skila.
Well, again, the Brisa says Tana Rabbanan Shor Shehanis.
Oh, the Brisa says.
We're learning the Brisa here right now. The Gemora immediately brought this Brisa. The Brisa says Shor Shehamis.
Oh, and even the Mishnah says he's going to be stoned. So I was off base.
So, as long as the Bezdin has not been gomer the din on the animal, so the animal is not yet a shor niskal. He's mutter bahana, he's a shor malia. Shor malia means this shomer, he borrowed an animal. he borrowed an animal that was worth $1,000, let's say, and now he's returning an animal. Now, before the Beis Din declares it to be a niskal, how much is the animal worth? And then Roy will say, well, he's not worth very much because we know he's going to be niskal. We're not going to buy him for $1,000. Okay, but technically speaking, Rashi says the animal is a shor maliyahu. So it's called in the halacha, if a shomer borrows something, he has to give back what he borrowed, and he has to give back the animal in one piece, in the same status that he borrowed it. And if he doesn't do it, so then he's liable. So here, Rashi's saying that even though the Beis Din is gonna, even though the Beis Din eventually took the animal, the shomer is going to be off the hook. Why is the shomer off the hook? Because, says Rashi, at the time that he returned the animal to the owner, shor mali. It was a shor mali. It was a shor which was a fit and capable and didn't have a din on it of being niskal, and so it was returned in the same condition that it was given back in, that it was borrowed in. That's what the Brisa says. That's what the Brisa says. There is a Gemora somewhere here in Bava that if an owner borrows something and he borrows, let's say he's given it into his possession truma. Now truma is very delicate. If it becomes tamei, it's now worthless. You can't do very much with truma tamei. It's called the case of hezek sheino nikar. There's hezek, actual hezek, but it's not nikar. You can't look at by seeing the truma that there's anything wrong with the truma. That over there is a machlokes. What's the din over there? Is the chazorah a good chazorah or not? But over here, there's no actual hezek yet. No actual hezek yet. The verdict has not yet been passed down. So the animal is we can't wage bets on, well, the Beis Din will do this, the Beis Din will do that, the Beis Din will do the other thing. There's no din on the animal right now. The animal is a shor malya. So therefore, at this point, the shomer is able to return the animal, and he'll be putter. He'll be putter for any damage. Okay. That's what the Brisa says. Okay. Now let's see. That's the first part of the Brisa. The first part of the Brisa discussed before the Beis Din handed down their verdict. That will be the din. The sale is a sale. The buyer can plow with it. The hektish is a hektish. The meat will be permissible to eat, and the shomer who returns it before the Beis Din hands down the verdict, he's considered to have been made a proper return of the animal that he borrowed, and he will be off the hook. He'll be exempt from having to pay the owner. Okay. Now let's see what happens the other way around. Seifa, Luke, Mishanig Mardino.
Mishanig Mardino. Once it has been completed, the verdict,
Right.
Makaro Eno Makur.
Right.
A sale is not a sale. Hikdisho Eno.
Why is the sale not a sale?
Because the verdict has been completed. The ox is now no longer under the purview of the owner or the shomer. It's under the purview of the court now. The court is taking possession of it. the purpose of carrying out the verdict.
Okay. The animal is worthless. The sale doesn't go through because the animal is not worth anything. The animal's asur b'hana.
Right.
You can't sell something which is asur b'hana. It's forbidden to have any type of derive any benefit from the animal. You can't plow with the animal. You can't eat the meat. There's nothing to do with it. It has no value. So the sale is an ineffective sale.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Hikdisho eno mukdash. The consecration is no longer a consecration. Shechato basro.
Why is the hektish no good?
The animal has already been assigned to the death penalty.
And therefore,
It can't be used as a hectare. Its benefit is nullified.
let's see what Rashi says. Eino mukdash. Rashi explains why the hektish is ineffective.
The law b'reshus say that there is not permission. Demare koi the akdusha lakdusha. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Eino mukdash. It's not an effective hektish. Explains Rashi the reason why. The lav reshuse demare koi. Because it is not in the reshus of its owner anymore. Reshus over here doesn't mean permission. Reshus sometimes means in the legal domain.
Right.
So this animal now has been declared on it an iskal. It's asur b'hana, and it's not capable in that state of being owned by the owner anymore. It's not in the reshus of the owner, says Rashi. The lav reshuse the marikoi. It is not. It's not koi. It's not standing in the legal domain of the owner. The owner has to own the animal in order for the hektish to be effective. The pasuk says, "Adam ki yakdish es beiso." Kodesh Lashem. And the Gemora darshans, just like a person owns his house, we hope the person owns his house, continues to own his house. So too, he's got to own the thing that he consecrates. So here he doesn't own his house, he doesn't own his animal anymore. It's not in his reshus anymore. It's not in his reshus anymore to be able to consecrate. So that's why the consecration is ineffective. And l'chora, that's the very same reason why the sale is invalid also. In order to sell something, it's got to belong to you. So somebody who tries to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge, don't buy it from him.
Might be the owner.
What?
Might be the owner.
That's what he's going to convince you. And so if you believe him, so that's why I'm telling you don't buy it.
If you believe him, give me a call. I have something to sell you also.
But don't squeeze it too hard.
Okay, so the sale is ineffective, the hektish is ineffective, and what's the third din here?
It's open.
If he shoots it.
Shechato basru, if he checks the animal, the animal's flesh, the animal's meat is forbidden for use.
Right. Right, because once the Bezdin passes down the verdict, the animal is to be stoned. That makes the animal asur b'hana. And so the third nafkamin over here is that even if it's shechted according to the halacha, the meat will still be forbidden. Fourth din.
Zero shomer leves ba'alav eno muchzar. If the shomer returns the animal to the owner, it's not considered to be returned.
Oh, it's not a good return.
Does that mean that the shomer will be liable for whatever the animal did?
They'll be liable to the bailim. The bailim entrusted him with an animal that was worth $1,000, and now the animal is going out to be stoned, and it's worthless. So he's returned him a worthless animal. Nothing can be done with it. That's not considered to be a proper return of the article that you were entrusted with. That's what the Tanakhama says. Look at what Rabbi Yaakov says.
Rabbi Yaakov, what's this next word?
Omer.
Oh, Rabbi Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Yaakov says, "Af mi shenigmar dino," even if the verdict was reached, and zero shomer the ba'alav muchzar. He disagrees. He says, even if the verdict has been reached, nevertheless, the shomer can return it, and it's considered a valid return.
Yeah. Considered a valid return. Here's your animal. He looks exactly the same as he did before. He was nice and fat and plump when I borrowed him, and he's also nice and fat and plump right now too. What's the difference?
Just ignore that blood on his horn.
Yeah, he already washed it off.
This is the bull d'accord, no?
Yeah. Not only that, they passed him that he's a niskal now. He's hired to be taken to the Beis Haskila. And even at that point, before the Bezdin comes around to take the animal to the Beis Haskila, the shomer hurries up and gives it back to the owner. So according to Rabbi Yaakov, that return of the borrowed article is an effective return. And
I
therefore,
understand that.
he will be exempt from having to pay anything to the owner.
So is this now the law? Having this is the last
No. No. You see that it's a machlokes between the Tanakhama of the Brisa and Rabbi Yaakov.
I understand Rabbi Yaakov though, because he said the animal is usher for hana. There's no hana here. The owner's not getting hana from receiving it, and the shomer is not getting hana from giving it back.
Yeah, but who was the one that caused this animal to now be worthless?
The shomer.
Yeah. So if you were the owner, you wouldn't like this shomer very much, would you?
I'd be very unhappy.
Yeah.
I'd tell you Rabbi Yaakov, a piece of my mind.
You don't know what he might do.
What?
You don't know what you might do with that.
That's right. Such a
Okay.
saves, you might sell it.
Yeah.
So on the open market.
And that's the machlokes between the Tanakhama and Rabbi Yaakov. So if you had trouble understanding how the shomer could be exempt and off the hook, if he hurries up and returns the animal after he already gored and killed someone, but before the Bezdin handed down their verdicts, you thought that was the hard din to understand. This one is even harder. The din has already been passed down. He's a niska. The best din is going to be knocking on your door and taking the animal away to the base of skila. And right before the best din knocks on the door, here comes the shomer. He says, "Here's your animal. I returned it."
And he gets away with
And
it.
Rabbi Yaakov says, "He's putter." Yes.
We gotta try to understand Rabbi Yaakov.
Yeah, that's the next piece of the Gemora.
We have normal schedule today for Yavamas?
Yeah. Normal schedule for Yavamas. It won't be on the YouTube, but so you'll have to come to Tsama Nafshi. Buy Matt.
You don't tell
Have a good Shabbos.
before you